Hi there, welcome back to Lunchtime Live. I'm delighted to say that we're joined in the studio by former Netherlands, Barcelona, Bayern Munich midfielder Mark van Bommel. Great to have you with us. First of all, how are you? What have you been up to lately?
No, all good, thank you. I was working with Antwerp last year. Now this year I didn't at the club, so I was following my boys. They are playing football and watching a lot of games, so all fine.
Now, you've had managerial and coaching roles at PSV, Wolfsburg, Royal Antwerp. Is that still the path that you want to go down?
Yes, I think so. Because it's really lovely to work with the boys and have your idea and play like that. And of course, when you are a player, you need to have the tension. You want to win, and it's like a coach as well. So I'm looking forward to start again, and let's hope it will be a very good opportunity.
Well, speaking of coaches, we've got to come on to Arne Slot, haven't we? He became the first Dutch manager to win the Premier League. Just incredible. How impressed have you been with him?
No, he's really a nice guy. First of all, I played against him. In Holland, we played some games to each other, and he's also a midfield player. He was a midfield player, and he was thinking about the game. And then he coached Cambuur. He went to AZ, to Feyenoord, and he's tactically really good. And he gives the players confidence. They give them an idea, not only what Liverpool needs to do, but also what the opponent is doing. So the players are well prepared. And for me, it wasn't a surprise. Of course, in his first season, first Dutch manager who's winning the league. So no, it's really nice, and it's nice to watch how everybody is happy at the club. Also the players who play with him, they feel it as well. I heard Salah yesterday after the game. He said, I now have a little bit more confidence than before, and I play well. So his figures are also scoring and assists is amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you think, given that Liverpool made just one signing since he arrived, is it looking quite ominous for the rest of the league that they're just going to get stronger?
I think they get stronger because now he had 1 year at a time to work with the team. I think it will be even better. It's always difficult and dangerous to say. And if they manage that really good, that they get the good players in, then it will be better. But it's always difficult because it's the Premier League. It's not easy to win, and now also a little bit lucky that City wasn't doing well, Arsenal wasn't stable that well, but I'm looking forward to next season.
Are you surprised that it's taken this long for a Dutchman to win the Premier League, given the calibre of Dutch managers?
No, it sounds a little bit strange. I didn't knew it before, of course. You had Van Gaal, you had Ten Hag at United, Advocaat. As well, but it's a difficult league. So for a Dutch manager, Arne is now making the path for a lot of coaches. They think, a Dutch way is also very nice. It's able to win, but it's difficult. You know, the Dutch guys stay in Holland, then Barcelona. They have a lot of Dutch coaches, but in England it's strange. I didn't thought about that, but. Yeah, maybe Arne is now the trendsetter.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Dutch guys, as you put it, definitely one of the key players for Liverpool, their captain, Dijk. You've played with some amazing Dutch players. Where does he rank for you?
Now, it's similar to Jaap Stam. You know, he's playing at United, and he's a real leader, like in Holland as well, the Dutch national team. How he develops, it's really good. That's his character, and you see it as well on the pitch, on and off the pitch at Liverpool, and everybody is watching him, and he's the. I think it's also good that he extended his contract, that he stays 2 years longer, because he's stable, and you need a stable guy at the back four.
One of the players that's really shone as well, Ryan Gravenberch. Now, what do you think Arne Slot has done to get the best out of him?
Now, Gravenberch, I know him a long time, also in the youth. I was a youth coach. He was playing in the youth of Ajax. So I know where he's able to. He can play really good. He's tactically fine. He's physically very good. He can run from box to box. He defends well. He's a smart guy. And I think if you give him confidence, like Arne, then he plays in the way like he plays now, and that's on a really high level. Although he's young, so he only can develop his play way of playing even better.
Let's move on to the Champions League then. I mean, you won it with Barcelona in 2006. What are some of your memories from that day?
No, it was amazing. But I was really nervous. Everybody was nervous because it was the first final after the '92 final with the goal of Ronald Koeman against Sampdoria. It was amazing and everybody was nervous. And you see a picture of me. And I wasn't good. I was not playing well. I was playing for the team, but my own level wasn't good. At the end, I get subbed, and then Hendrik Lassen came in, and he decided the game. So it was a really good substitution of the coach, and I was happy that I was playing, and of course that we won. That was the best.
Of course. What about Barcelona? Do you feel that they might be the team to beat this year?
Yeah, I think so. They have a lot of qualities. They're playing really well, but don't underestimate the other ones. PSG is playing on a really high level. They beat Liverpool. Then you have Arsenal, and it's only if Inter. There's only 2 games in the semi-final. So if you get a good result in the first leg, then everything is possible. It's always like that, but it's only 2 games, and you need to be the day. I don't know if you say it in English. The day form. On the day. Yeah. That's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and also small details will decide the game.
And nerves play a part as well, as you mentioned. You were so nervous as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was my first big final, 2006. And I didn't sleep. Normally I sleep before the game 2-3 hours. And now I was awake and I was thinking, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Oh.
I was waiting for the game and then, the most important thing that we won. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about another one of your former clubs then, in Bayern Munich. They're on the verge of winning the Bundesliga title. This would be a first trophy of Harry Kane's career. Bayern have got a great history of strikers. Is Kane in the conversation with, those with the best?
Oh, he scores a lot of goals. He's playing really well. Of course, I have some contacts with some boys from the team, and also kitman and everything, and a physiotherapist. He's a really nice guy. He's impressive with his goals, and it takes a couple of years because in the past they had few really big strikers. For example, Lewandowski was playing a lot of, I don't know for sure how long, but he scores also like Harry. He's scoring a lot of goals, and I think if he stays there longer, winning prizes, then it could be.
And when I asked you before what you've been up to, you mentioned your boys. So the Van Bommel name is being carried forward by your son Ruben, without putting too much pressure on him. No. How good is he?
No, he's quite good at his level, at his age. Because when I was 20, I wasn't that good. He's tall, 1.92 m. He has pace. He's smart. He can score. Left winger. So a little bit different than I. Unfortunately, he played at Spurs in the Europa League, and after 8 minutes he broke his toe, so that was a pity. But he's developing well, and that's not easy. If you have the name Van Bommel, everybody compares you with your father. But he's doing really well, and I'm really happy to see how he's developing. Do
you think we could maybe see him in the Premier League one day?
Yeah, it could be. Physical, 1.92 m, similar to Gakpo, also a Dutch guy, maybe, but easy. Don't put a lot of pressure.
Well, how close did you ever come to playing in the Premier League? Do you have any stories that you can share?
Yeah, several times. In 2001, I joined the training ground of Leeds United, David O'Leary. In 2002, I went to Arsenal with Arsene Wenger. Then they bought Gilberto Silva after the World Cup 2002. So he threw me off the table. I don't know if it's good English, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then after the season 2005, I was free agent at PSV. We were playing in the semi-final, so there were a lot of clubs also from England, and I took the opportunity to go to Barcelona. So actually, I told my wife a couple of years ago, after when I stopped my career, that I didn't play in England. I regretted it a little bit because it would suit my game, I think. And I played in Germany, Italy, Spain, and Holland. But I missed the England experience, and maybe as a coach, could be.
Could be, and still a fantastic career that you had, and still might have a Van Bommel name in the Premier League. You never know.
No, that would be nice.
Oh, it's been so great to get your thoughts and have you in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you.
Now, it is a crucial night for Manchester United as they take on Athletic Club in Bilbao for the first leg of their Europa League semi-final.
That's right, Hannah. And someone who will have a particular interest in this tie is Miguel Lourenço Pereira, a Portuguese football journalist who's followed Ruben Amorim's career, but has also written a book called Passion, Journey to the Soul of Spanish Football. Brilliant to see you, mate. Thank you so much for coming on today on Sky Sports News. Let me start by asking you about Ruben Amorim. Have you been surprised at how tough he's found it at Manchester United?
Well, good morning, first of all. And no, I haven't, because essentially Ruben is a manager that has a very strong belief in the way that he sees the game and his tactics. And he would arrive always to a team that was not built exactly for the way that he likes to play. So I think from day one, he knew that he needed a period of adaptation to the strengths of the Premier League. But at the same time, being in a European semi-final, after so many years of bad performances from Man United in Europe is also a plus for him. And he'll be looking forward for next summer to try to strengthen his squad with the type of players that he will need to make his idea work. And that is probably what he's thinking right now, getting the job done in Europe and then going to the summer market and get ready for next season to be on full.
Miguel, you followed Amorim's career in depth, probably more so than anyone. Is this the toughest period of his time as a manager overall?
Yes, obviously, because Man United is such a giant football club. And when you come from a reality as Portuguese football, which is relatively important in European football, but not at the level of the Premier League. And you are used to manage football clubs that are with the demands much less than United has. It's always very tough. But at the same time, Amorim has proven himself to have strong character, has proven himself to be faithful to his own idea. So I think he already knew that this was going to happen, or at least some of the things that he's living were going to happen. And I think the focus that he always had in European football this season to go all the way to the final, to buy himself a go-kart for the summer, was always part of the plan. He knew that the Premier League is the toughest league in the world. He knew he was going to play against sides that can beat him at any given week because of the quality of the squads, the quality of the managers, the nature of the Premier League as it is. But then in Europe, Man United proved themselves to have a stronger squad, and now is 180 minutes away of playing a final and to become only the fourth manager in the history of the club to win the European Cup. So it's also exciting times for him as well.
Oh, absolutely. And where would a Europa League win rank among all of his achievements so far in his career?
Well, I think it would be number one, of course, because winning in European competition is always important to any football manager, and to win it with Manchester United. And like I said before, being just the fourth manager in the history of the football club to win it. The previous one was even Jose Mourinho, which is an idol of him. So probably for him, it will be important most because after winning 2 leagues with Sporting, also important feats, but they are in a less level, which is the level where the Portuguese Football League is actually. So moving to England and then on these first 6 to 7 months of being in the job to be able to bring home such a respected trophy as the Europa League, not the level that he wants to bring to Man United. Of course, he always spoke about bringing United back to the great Champions League nights like the ones we had this week, but it's the first step. So we're probably looking forward to that.
In terms of Athletic Club, his opposition tonight, they've never won a European trophy. I mean, this tie against Manchester United, what would it mean to them to win the tie, first of all, and to go on and lift, a European trophy?
Yeah, it will be massive for Athletic Club. The final is going to be played on their stadium in San Mamés in a couple of weeks' time. And Athletic Club is probably one of the biggest football clubs in Spain. I would say probably the 4th biggest club in Spain. But they peaked too soon, like many football clubs before the 1950s, 60s, when the European competition started. They were the strongest, or at least one of the 2 or 3 strongest sides in the land, winning regular league titles and cups. But then the last 40 years, they never won a single trophy. They won it last year, the first cup in a long time. So for them to follow that win with winning finally the competition that they are hoping to get this season, playing at home and becoming only the 8th side in Spanish football to lift a European trophy for them is massive. So it will be a celebration of the football club as an institution, and also a celebration of the way they live the game, which is very particular, even inside the system of Spanish football, playing with homegrown players only, very connected to the local community, and a club that sometimes brings you memories back of the old days of the football pre the commercialization over the past 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, do you think they get enough credit for the way they sort of run their club?
Yeah, I think people respect them a lot for that. Supporters have grown used to not being able to compete at the highest level with this model, but they are comfortable with the idea of being true to themselves and being aware that sometimes they can punch a little bit higher if they have good players, they have a good generation like they do have now, to be able to play sometimes in the Champions League, to be able to compete all the way in competitions like the Europa League or even the Conference League and win a couple of cups in the run. I think football supporters in Bilbao are very happy in the way the club has been run, and in Spain they are still a very well respected club. They are believed to be a club that represents values of old. That's always important for some sort of supporters who are very nostalgic, and essentially I think the world, especially for the way they still are being run, looks to them with a great level of respect.
Miguel, before I let you go, can I just ask you about Hugo Viana? Of course, he's moving over to Manchester City. Big job for him. The club have been linked already this week with Diogo Costa, the Portugal goalkeeper. Do you think Viana is a good fit for Manchester City? And do you expect a lot of Portuguese players to maybe move over to Manchester City this summer?
Well, he has a great heritage behind him in Txiki Begiristain. The job that he's done for the club over the last few years has been absolutely great. And after a season like the one that Man City is living this year, so he will probably have a lot of people looking in what he's been able to do. He did a very good revamp at Sporting alongside Amorim, and he did manage to bring the club back from a shady period to become another dominant force in Portuguese football over the past 4 to 5 seasons. Premier League is always another level. It happens with players, it happens with managers, also with sports directors, but he has a great knowledge of the market, and probably he will be able to bring in some players. I would expect a couple of Portuguese, or at least players that have played in Portugal over the past few years. People talking about Diogo Costa, also Victor Gyökeres, also Nico Gonzalez already moved in January and was playing for Porto. Probably the move always has had something to do with Viana as well. So expect some players from the Portuguese league to arrive at Man City in the next summer, and him to do a very interesting job. We'll be looking to him with great expectation as well.
Miguel, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been brilliant to speak to you.